Hey guys, Dr. Vic, and you're listening to another episode here on the Mindful Experiment. Excited to have you here as this week I'm diving deep. I'm going hardcore into this. I want to really level things up a little bit for you. So, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're just looking to make money, you want to be able to expand your wealth. May it be your net worth, may it be your annual income, whatever that is, this is going to apply to you. You see, in life, we look at money and we think we have to do something, right? The old adage was, I have to trade my time for money. And then it became money. I'm going to make my money work for me, right? And then how do you make your money compound and grow and evolve so you don't have to work as hard to build your net worth? Well, I'm here to share some foundational stuff. And this is stuff that I teach in my new program. I'll talk about a little later. But there's some foundational things that you can do to really shift the gears, really to transform. Now, before I get into the good stuff, have you ever met anyone that, no matter what they do, they have success? Like money just comes to them. And you're like, how does that happen, right? Or I know in my business, when I first got into things, I was literally modeling everything successful chiropractors did, and I wasn't getting there. And I was like, I don't get this. I am doing everything they're telling me to do. And I kept hitting roadblocks and I didn't understand why. And it wasn't that their program didn't work. It was me. It was my mind. My mind didn't work. And I had to look at things from a different perspective. I had to work. I had to do some inner work. I had to do some inner child work. I had to look at some old programs, cultural, ancestral things, all this stuff to break away to help me level up in my life to the level where I wanted to get to. And it took time. It doesn't happen overnight, guys. It took me some time to break through this, to get through that part. But I will tell you this. When it comes to money, you have to understand this basic principle about money in order to achieve more or less, whatever that may be. Money, all money is life energy. Okay. Now, you may have heard me talk about this before. I brought this up maybe a couple of years ago on this podcast where I talked about life energy, and that's all money is. Now, let me explain how that works. When you give money to something, you go to a grocery store and you give money to them, you are giving money to a system. There's the values of the business. You're giving to all the levels of the people who are in that business, right? And you're giving them more energy to thrive, right? Because if you don't have energy in something, it dies, right? If I didn't have energy to get my body to keep moving, my cells to do what it needs to do, I wouldn't be here. And the same thing goes for you and other things. Well, there's this energy that just because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Everything in the world is based off this construct of energy. And so when you're giving money to something, you're giving life energy to it, which gives it more life to grow and expand. Okay. And when you look at your life, okay, what are you doing to raise your vibe to change your energy? Because the thing about money is it is about vibration. It's all about energy. And in life, everything is that. So when you have one aspect of your life and you want to achieve this level, well, you have to raise up to that vibration to create harmonic synchronization so that you can allow for that to happen. If you don't do that, you're not going to get that experience, right? And so for me, right, and I said, I was doing things, right? I was busting my behind. I was grinding out. I was hustling. I was doing all this stuff. And I was getting like crumbs. And it was just like, wait a minute, why am I not getting that success? And what I realized was, yeah, my intention was here, but my vibe was here. And I focused from low vibrational frequencies. And so that the energy was never going to get to that level. Now I could take this many different ways, and I will. I'm going to share another example in a minute, but bear with me. I want to break this down a little further. And so when you look at life energy, you have to look at where's the energy and the vibration of where your beliefs and mindset is when it comes to money. Where is that at? Because that is probably the biggest mental block that's blocking you. Because what I've learned in my life, and this is what I teach in my new program, is that, I've taught about it before too, is that, when you're in alignment with your purpose, your vision, your truth, your big aha, the thing that you want to do that wakes you up every morning and you get excited. The more you do those things, the more money is just going to come. because it's going to be part of your vibration. Don't trust me on this. Study all the people who are very successful. Look at people who are in business and they're very successful. Look at how they are when they talk about their product or the thing they do or what they love and what they experience and what they do every single day. You're going to see there's a joy to them. It's like me. I can coach. I love coaching. I love being a chiropractor. Those are two massive passions of mine. And it's something that it's a part of my vision in life. It's my purpose and so much more. And I can just do that all day long. I don't get bored of it. I love creating programs, love doing things that are teaching, and it's part of my value system, and it's something that I love to do. And so you really want to look at your life and say, am I doing things that I love? Because if you don't, then you have a incongruency. You have a block now that's not allowing you to get to those levels, okay? And so you want to make sure to see and check in, where are you at from an energetic component? Where is your mindset at? How do you think about money? Do you catch yourself saying, oh, money only goes to money? Money attracts money, or, people who have money are evil people. Or if you have that type of relationship with money, you're not going to have it. Right. And I teach this with my entrepreneurs when they're working with clients, when they're a coaching client of mine. I always tell them, I'm like, listen, you need to change your relationship with money in order to achieve and attract the people that you want to have to do business with. Because if you have a crappy relationship with money, a viewpoint on it, like all people who have money are evil, well, you're never going to attract people who have money to come into your business and do what you do, or support you, or transfer their life energy to you. Right? Because everything is life energy. It's just an exchange of energy. So once you understand that, that's where it starts to be a game changer. Okay. Now let me explain a little deeper now, because you may be sitting there going, okay, I kind of get this life energy thing, but I don't. Don't worry, I'm doing this on purpose. And so when you look then at life energy, right? Money is all about life energy. This is where you have to be mindful where you spend your money. Not only because of, when it comes to, like, in this day and age, we with everything with COVID and stuff, I'm always telling people, support businesses that you want to see thrive, because you're giving them life energy to do just that. But more importantly, invest in you. You've heard me talk about this before. This is not some new concept. I talk about the greatest return on investment you can ever get. ROI is a short for that. And so why is it so critical to invest in you? Even my dog agrees, if you heard him in the background. It's one of those things where, when you invest in yourself, all of a sudden you're giving yourself that life energy, right? You're giving back to you, which is going to allow you to expand and grow and do more. And if you focus on the things that you value, it's not about, business, there's business principles and things like that. I won't get into it in this podcast, but there are things in your life, for instance, for everybody, I'm trying to keep this as general as possible, that you have to invest in you. When I want to learn something new, I'll take $100, $200, $300 and I'll go buy it on books. No questions asked. And I will go ahead and read those books. Sometimes I may not get all the books, and maybe I'll look for courses and classes that can teach me it faster. That way I don't have to spend all the time reading the books. So I'm always looking for ways to, how can I learn and grow and expand? Now, I don't worry if it's $300 or $400. Some people say, well, it's, it could be a lot of money for some. For me, it doesn't matter if it is or isn't. For me, it's about, what's that $300, $400 going to teach me, and how am I going to be better so that I can make more than just that? How am I going to cover my investment? And then I ream in the profits, because from there, it's just going to continue to grow, right? This is why, like, in my coaching biz and what I do, I constantly raise my price every year. I do that not because I'm greedy or not because of that. It's because if I told you how much money I invest in myself every single year to grow and expand and evolve and be the best possible coach in the world to help people, I have to invest in myself. And once I do, then it's like, hey, I'm not the same coach I was last year. I have changed because I invested in me. So when you're doing this with your life and your dreams and your visions and your goals, you're giving life energy to it, which is giving it life. It's allowing to open up and expand, right? But in order to get to those levels, you got to keep yourself in check and do the inner work. You got to look and see where your relationship is with money. Where's your mindset with money? Do you have a good relationship or not? Because that's going to be your hindrance to allowing you to have more or not. And it's all about mindset at the end of the day. Because one thing I've learned, right? I studied the best chiropractors that I could in my reach at that time. And I did everything I could, and I was hitting walls, right? But it's when I got out of my own way. It's when I started to realize what was going on in here. And I started looking at all the old programs I had, the negative limited belief systems with money, right? I had a shitty, excuse my French, but I had a shitty relationship with money. It was absolutely horrible. And I didn't realize it. And I had to break through that. And then I saw other things that I was doing that was blocking me for that. And I started doing that inner work. And then all of a sudden, it was like night and day, things just worked. Then I started doing the things I was taught to do, that I was following to do, and then those worked. And then I was like, holy cow, how's this all changing? Right? I'm just blown away by this. That little simple thing I did, and I worked out and I broke through, all of a sudden opened up that door. I was amazed, unbelievably amazed. But it's that simple. Now, some people say, oh, you make it seem like that. Well, I've done it. I've helped other people do it. And the thing is you got to continue to do this work to really understand what that is. And you need someone to guide you through the process, right? It's not something that's just going to come up out of nowhere. You know the answers, but the mind likes to trick you. And so the thing is, you got to do the inner work to get to this. And that's where you need someone to guide you along the way to break those barriers. I've helped entrepreneurs double their income within a year. And it's one of those things where we didn't do it because a new mode or how to do Facebook ads or Instagram or TikTok or doing this or that or all the business stuff, which is important. Not saying it isn't. We worked on them. We worked on how do we trim the fat. We looked at other factors of what we can do. When I say trim the fat, I don't mean on the body. And we looked at other factors of how we can help the individual to really purpose themselves and really look at all the energy blocks that they're doing, then not allowing things to flow towards them. I'll tell you one thing I learned about studying humans and spirituality, soul, the soul aspect of who we are, is that we as humans block the beautiful love that comes to us. The universe wants to give us everything, right? You get to choose, and God wants to, if you look at God or the universe, Allah, all that is, whatever you want to call it, it is always looking at having an experience. It wants to experience itself. And we are the ones who do the work. But in that process, we got a gift called life. We have infinite, we're eternal. We don't die. We never vanish. We'll be here beyond all time and we'll always exist. And so the beautiful thing about that is the trade-off, right? So God wants to experience the greatest thing. And I learned this. I'm going to give you guys one book that I'm going to recommend. It changed my life with money. Okay. And it's Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. These are principles he talks about, and he goes way more in depth than that. But it's a great book I highly recommend because it's going to change your perspective. It changed mine. I thought to do good, I shouldn't make as much. I need to just do good and focus on that. And then I was like, hold up. But if I have more money, I have more life energy, I have more things I can experience. I'm not, you notice that in this whole conversation, I never said money's going to make you happiness because it doesn't. There's studies that have proven that there's a certain level that you get to. And then after that, it is statistically pretty much the same. I think it's like 70,000. And after that, you can make 500,000. There's no difference. And it's one of those things where, but what Wallace Wattles talk about was it was all about the essence of God wants you to be rich. Because when you learn and expand and express more of who you are to the world. Hell, I want to be rich. I tell people all the time, I want to be a billionaire. And it's not because of the greed. It's because I have so many freaking ideas in my head and so many things that I want to do to help the world and just share my imprint to the world to help level us up, raise the consciousness levels and so much more that I need the money in order to do that. Or I work with other people who have money, they can do that too. There's always different ways. If you look at Mother Teresa, she didn't have money, but she flew on private jets and did all these things. And one of those reasons why is because she consciously attracted that into her life. She didn't have to do the work, but she had others who did that. It's sometimes in marriage, sometimes someone marries into someone who has money or a family that has money. And it's always like, well, they didn't have to do that. They attracted that part in their life, so they got it that way. That's the beauty of the universe. There's an infinite catalog of what is going to show up for you. The key is not to get in here and think this is what it should be. That's when you create the block and you don't allow things to flow. But if you just get in that state of flow and trust and just know and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing and I'm going to continue to perpetuate this energy, then things will manifest in the way you need it to be to allow you to get to where you want to go. So I think that's a good point here. There's definitely way more things I can go in depth with this to help you out. But again, I'll carry on. If you guys like this episode, definitely DM me on Instagram or Facebook. My links are in the show notes and say, hey, I love the episode. Love to know more. We can do that. But check out, it's in the show notes. From here on out, you're going to be seeing this from me. I am coming out with a brand new program. It's a new 1-year coaching program. It's specific to entrepreneurs. If you're a chiropractor listening, you are an entrepreneur. And what it is, it's designed, I'm taking pieces of what I've been doing and I'm putting it all under one umbrella. So my vision course that I had online, my systemic 12-week program to creating success, creating powerful morning rituals based on science and neurology to help you thrive in your mornings and get your stuff going. Plus everything else. So I call it the Manzo Mindset Method. And it's a program I'm putting together, plus other things with coaching, group coaching, and all those kind of stuff that's happening. I am taking a very small, limited amount of people. So right now I'm only taking 5 students. That's it. And we're doing a case study on this. So there's a benefit. There's a benefit to jumping on board and being part of this case study, because you get a massive discount on the price of the program in that investment. But there's more details below. I won't bore you with it. It is below. Check that out if you are interested. I'm only taking serious inquiries. So what we do is we set up a call for about 15, 20 minutes, and I will figure out if we're a good fit. And then if we are, great, I'll take you on, and then we'll talk about the details afterwards. But we're putting this program is being put together. It's going to be massive support. It is going to be something like it's never been before, where we hit all elements of life. But at the same token, we're going to really help raise the consciousness of the human being to live more in purpose with their vision, to then follow the law of the path of least resistance, because that is going to make things easier for you to double your income, work less, and spend more time with family. That's something I've done a couple times in my career, made some changes and some shifts, and we've done that. And now we have a system in place to help entrepreneurs do the same thing, because it's time to help individuals. Because one of the things I've always heard about with entrepreneurs and chiropractors and so forth is that we don't have enough time with family. We don't have time for this. We don't have time for that. Well, I want to be able to help and give you the time you need so you can do the other things you love to do and so much more. So check it out. It's in the show notes. And as always, I appreciate you guys. And check out this Friday's episode. It's going to be an awesome one. I'm really excited for the ones we've been sharing. We got some good ones coming up in the following week, especially for we have a 9/11 survivor on September 10th. We'll be releasing that episode. We're actually doing 2 episodes next week, so I will not be showcasing next week. Taking the week off. It is my birthday weekend, so I'm going to a birthday week. September 8th is my birthday, so I'm taking the week off with podcasting. So we'll just be sharing 2 interviews that we've done. And then I'll be back recording these kind of podcasts again in the following week. So I won't be talking to you guys for 2 weeks, but keep rocking and rolling. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for following. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.